Yes, people, hope you're good. Happy Monday. So it's Sean Colley here from On Point. Just want to, as you see in the title, go over the reasons why that you're not getting a yes from the agent or landlord. So I'm going to be covering a few things. I'm going to be talking about what you can actually implement to start getting more yeses. So by the end of this video, you can literally go out there in the big bad world and start getting deals over the line, whether you're deal sourcing or whether you are building your own portfolio. So I will get into that very shortly. But first of all, happy Monday, everyone. I see there's some people joining. So welcome, guys. Welcome. So I've got this cool little trick. So that's pretty good there. So yeah, welcome anyway. So we'll get into it. So the reason why, well, there's going to be a few reasons. I'm going to cover a couple today. I'm also going to give you some tangible information and actual a worksheet that you can go through as well. So stay to the end. I'll show you what it is, where you can get access to it, and then you can literally have that by your side as you're making the calls, and build up your weaponry, your arsenal of answers. So point number one, why you're not getting yeses over the line when you're calling agents and landlords is because you're not making the volume of calls necessary to get a yes. So you're not doing enough. So people always ask me, I'm not getting any yeses. Is this for real? Does it actually work? Well, you know, sometimes seeing is believing, right? Go on any property Facebook group, go on the rent to rent groups. You'll see people selling deals left, right, and center. If that doesn't show you that there are deals out there still, even in this so-called saturated market and all that kind of stuff, which is nonsense because it's still going well, right? There's people selling deals. That's seeing that people are actually doing the deals, finding them, should give you, if you're a deal sourcer or building your own portfolio, that faith and belief that it can be done. So then it's about, okay, now I see it, how do I do it? And again, I'm going to go through a few things, but again, just to reiterate, point number one, you've got to step your call volume up. Again, going back to people, they'll say, I'm not getting the yeses, I'm not getting any. It's like, okay, well, how many calls have you made this week? 5. There we go. Do you not see it yourself? Like, this is the red flag that will come up. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell you otherwise. It is you got to go for the no. Read that book if you haven't read it. It's a great book on mindset, on getting pushing through the barriers and things like that. Go for no. I can't remember who it's by. If anyone has read it, and if anyone knows who it's by, put it in the comments below. Just share it so someone who might be interested can go find it. In terms of the volume, right? There's no magic number. There's no magic number that I can say, once you hit 50 calls, you will get a yes. It just depends. There's so many variables. Someone might be experienced more than the other person just starting out. So what you've got to understand, and I talk about this quite often, is you've got to appreciate that you're going to be crap at the very beginning of anything you do. Whether that's riding a bike, you know what it was like. If you've got kids and you're currently teaching them to ride a bike, they're no good at it at the beginning. Of course they're not. It's the very same thing with us when we're making the calls. I mean, I was absolutely shocking at the beginning. I was just making things up. You know, I just didn't know what I was doing, stumbling all over the place. So it's about having a bit of structure. So you're going to need a call flow, for example, call script. That's going to give you that structure that you can work from. And as you get better, then you can start to adapt your own personality into it. So having a structure is a real good thing to do. Now, in terms of volume, again, you've got to consistently work at it. So this is the big key point that I wanted to touch on with regards to volume. So it's a business, right? You're running your business. So therefore, your frameworks and processes have to be efficient. So if you're doing a call today, maybe no calls tomorrow, 2 calls the day after that, you get the point. There's no structure. There's no framework. The processes are not good. The processes are shocking. So there's been no surprise when you get to the end of the week, you've got no results, and then you start to question and doubt yourself. This is not rocket science, guys. So you've really got to begin to implement in some form of framework, if you're sourcing for investors or for yourself, to the point where you might say to yourself, for example, okay, regardless of the result, regardless if I get the yes, because I don't know when the yes is going to come. So regardless of the outcome, I'm going to set my process of 10 calls a day. Or I'm going to set my process, given the time that you got, because everyone's different, I'm going to do 30 calls a day. And regardless of what crap I get thrown back at me, regardless of the outcome, I'm going to do it. Because why? Because that's how my business operates. This is now the way, guys, that you want to start. You want to be thinking. You want to be thinking what needs to be done, and it's the little things that make the big difference. So that's point number one. Hope that makes sense to you guys. If it does, then show some love, drop a like, drop some likes on the comments as well. Feel free to share anything if it's brought you value. And by the way, I'm just covering a couple of things. Drop some comments with anything that you guys have learned across your journey, maybe from when you was at the beginning to maybe where you are now, if you're getting results, and what the problem was. This is a community. Really want to engage and bring value. So share your feedback, because we all want to help each other. So we of course go into that more in the Empire system, where we go through the roadmap, we set implemented structures. There's people smashing deals. There's clients. There's a client just got their property live today. There's another mentee in the Empire group who I believe has sourced like 5 or 7 properties in the last week. So, and she's got investors ready to go. So that's amazing. So we go into all that with the accountability as well, because that's a massive thing. Keeping accountable. You can know it all, but sometimes you just need that kick, right? But that's what also we cover in the Empire system. But here's the other main thing why, and this is the most important thing. Now, I'll share the screen in a second, actually, as well. So hopefully this will show you visually what I'm trying to say to get you more yeses. So the second reason we're going to go into on this live is point number 2 for not getting yeses or enough yeses or more yeses, depending where you're at, is because you're not equipped with the answers and solutions for the agents and the landlords. So you're not equipped. So what do I mean by that? You're going to have known by now, right? If you've made multiple calls, when you get an objection by the agent or landlord, question yourself and ask yourself, what do you do at that time? Got a cough? What do you do at that time, guys? So what I'm trying to say is you've pitched your pitch. They've said an objection. For example, I don't know. Yeah, we do it, but it's only you as the company that come into the property. So what they're trying to get at is no multiple contractors every week, every 2 weeks coming in. What do you say in that situation? Now, most people will say they'll get flustered and they won't know what to say, basically. So they'll say, okay, no problem, and put the phone down. What we need to start shifting is going from just taking their answer and coming off the phone to start firing back. So we want to start coming with solutions to objections. We want to start putting the emphasis on getting to the core depth of the objection. So for example, again, going back to I've got a real cough today, guys. Oh, you have to bear with me. Sorry about that. So what you want to get at is they've said that they don't do multiple people in the property. It's fine. They do company let, but they only do it for maybe, for example, your company, not all the other companies, etc. Oh, this is really kicking off. So what you want to do, instead of coming off the phone and just taking the no, you want to go a bit deeper. So for example, you want to say, okay, all right, I understand what you're saying. Is there any reason why you only allow one company? And then you want to find out what the real objection is, because the objection of only one company is the surface objection. You want to be getting to the real objection, let's call it. And when you dig enough, and don't be afraid to ask these questions, it's building rapport as well, especially if you're being professional and you're being, you're not being an arse, put it that way. You're not being weird, or you're just being nice, you're being professional. That builds rapport, because it actually shows that you know your stuff a little bit, right? Hi, hope you're good. Thanks for joining. So what you want to say is, all right, okay, I understand what you're saying. Is there any reason why? And then they might get to the core objection, which, for example, might be, yeah, we just don't want multiple people in the property because it could cause, more damages. Okay. Now we get into the real reason why they've objected and they've said no initially. So it's not the fact that they don't, they only do one company in the property. It's because they don't want the property getting damaged. And now we can start to come with solutions. So, for example, I might say, oh, I fully understand what you're saying. Well, as a management company, what we do is we take security deposits. Just to let you know, we take IDs. We fully screen the tenants to make sure that they check in, they pass our processes. And as a result, what we've shown is the data tells us that, we don't have half as many damages in the property. Of course, with that being said, you'll know full well from when you've let out the property to a normal AST tenant, damages, of course, and wear and tear and things like that can happen, but we have these in place and we always have a deposit. So that's kind of coming with solutions, right? And that's what it's all about. So just to recap, before I share the screen, I'm going to show you a really fantastic file that we've got, which covers so many objections, the core objections. So just to quickly recap, first one, the reason why you're not getting enough yeses is because you're not doing enough. You need to do more. Put it in it bluntly. And this is based on the amount of people I spoke to and the kind of trends that I've noticed. More volume. Even when you get the no's, you've got to go through it because it's so easy to just stop and just leave it for a day. And then it turns into a week and then you get nowhere. So forget about your feelings and emotions and literally stick to your business frameworks and processes. And point number 2 is you've got to come with fire. You've got to come with arsenal. And you do that by building up your solutions to people's objections, because they will come. The objections will come, guys, as I'm sure you know when you've been making the calls. So you've got to equip yourself in those situations. So volume plus an arsenal of solutions will equal yeses as time goes on, but it is a time game, guys. So let me try and share the screen. So I want to show you this file that is absolutely fantastic, and it covers basically all of the key objections. I think that's as big as I'm going to get it. Hopefully you can see it all right. Maybe if you're on a phone, you might need to go sideways. Not sure if that'll work, but anyway. So how to handle objections. So through this document, we've collated over the last 4 years the key objections or the main objections that agents and landlords will throw at you or us in our experience and from our mentees, etc. So I'm not going to run through them all, but I'll run through a couple. The landlord wants a long-term let, therefore 6 months is not long enough for them. So what we're basically saying is, would they do a company let? And a lot of agents won't understand fully that a company let can go on long. They might be thinking it's short term. So they'll say that it's something like they want a long-term let. And then you can come with a solution that, okay, yeah, fully understand that. We as the company will take the property on for, 2 to 3 years. We can have a 6 or a 12-month break clause to protect ourselves and yourselves so you can review it, etc. And more importantly, the landlord. And again, this is just a bit, you make this your own, but essentially, the aim is to provide confidence to the landlord that the guaranteed rent arrangement does exist. And it also provides us with the security. So you get the point. You're coming with a solution and you're saying it in a positive and in a professional manner and according to your own personality. You don't want to be reading this stuff like a script, like a robot, because they're going to think, oh, that's just weird, right? So next one, objection. The landlord only wants to let families or working professionals. So when they say things like that, I mean, especially the last one, working professionals, that's fantastic. That's actually a massive positive, which you can definitely exploit. But when they say families, I mean, here for the solution on this one, that's fantastic. Our clients work with professionals, so it fits the perfect criteria. With the families, you can say, yeah, perfect. We work with several companies who work directly with universities, etc. So the families are always coming in. Or if you don't want to say that, if you don't have that at the minute, you can just go into them a little bit more. So, all right, okay, I understand. Is there any reason that I know you mentioned professionals, etc. Is there any reason, just to confirm, is it families and professionals, or are we good? And then if they say it's just families, they're kind of going backtracking, but then you say, okay, I understand. Is there any reason why it's just the families? Any reason why on that? and then hear what they've got to say and then fire back. We've got another objection here. What stops you as the company putting lots of people within the property, so flooding the property, and there's solutions for that. And there's also, you know, another line of questioning that you can do to the agent to get to the real cause or the objection, if that makes sense. I hope that does. If it does, guys, drop a comment below. So let me stop sharing that. Stop the screen. So, you know, it's all about providing solutions. It's all about showing that you're here to help, that you have your things in check. And this is a massive way to do it, by volume and objection to solution focus. That's going to get you more yeses. So I keep coughing today. Oh my days, what is going on? So guys, it's Monday. You know, if you want to be really accountable, drop your intentions with how many calls you're going to be making this week in the comments below. You know, what are you going to commit to this week to begin getting yeses? Because if you're in the groups, the rent to rent groups, there are people getting deals every day, sourcing deals. There's people making thousands of pounds out here. And if you want to be a part of that, then you need to take action. It's easier said than done, of course, because you've got to live it. But if you do need the support, then, you know, get involved. Drop us a message. We'll give you instructions how to get involved in the Empire system. It's a minor investment in comparison to what you can really get in terms of the outcome. When you start building your frameworks, your processes, following the daily structure, following the roadmap, you can eventually get there. But sometimes you just need the support. It's difficult to do things alone. So what I will do is I'll just quickly share the screen again, and let me show you where you can get that PDF. So that PDF that I've just shared, there is access to that absolutely free. And what I've done is, if I share the screen, it's in this group. It's in the rent to rent in our Empire free private group. So all you need to do is just go onto the home page and then click on files. And in this files page, it will give you that. So there's other PDFs, other gems of gold of information that you can just literally start reading through. So there it is at the top. So in the file section, guys, how to handle objections like a pro. And that's the document I've just shared and gone over. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps. I'll just stop the screen share. Make sure you smash it, guys. Go get that PDF, read through it, get used to it, get accustomed to it. Start making the calls, follow the frameworks, follow your business processes, and you will get there. I hope you have a great day, guys. Reach out if you need anything. See you on the next video.